Hello, my friends. Today I want to explain a little bit more in depth about the narcissistic system that we find ourselves in when we were raised by a narcissist or stuck in a narcissistic society, and then we find ourselves in a career that's not aligned with our inner truth, and then we end up in a relationship that's toxic in some way. It's all because of inner wounds that never got healed. And so what we do is we line up externally to be enough and to people please. And our world seems like it's a narcissistic system until we wake up to our inner wounds, which narcissists are really good at waking up for us. We do the inner work, we set strong boundaries, and we start to not put up with this external idealistic version, and we start to awaken to this authentic truth. When that starts happening, many of us are asked to leave certain careers, leave certain relationships, have new boundaries with parents, and your whole world starts to become whole. Watch this video. So, if you guys are new to my channel, please click the subscribe button and little bell so you get notifications when I have new videos. And if you've been with me for a while, welcome back. This video is about understanding the narcissistic system you find yourself in when you've had narcissistic abuse or been raised by parents that aren't completely whole, which is most people. What happens, and what often people say to me is, my parents were really just obsessed with the external, with the image, with how pretty I was, what I was achieving, if I was basically catering to them and validating them, since, a narcissist's sense of self comes from the supply, comes from externals, achievements, what other people think, validation from others. And if you're not being that supply as a kid, and you're not bringing in those grades or those looks or that popularity or what your parent needs to feel enough, you're going to get blamed. You're not enough. You don't get connected to. And so my sort of phrase I like to say with my clients is, this is the attachment trauma that happens. I can't be me and still be connected to you. I had a new client this afternoon, and she was telling me how she has been watching my videos for a long time, and she's starting to really wake up to the fact that her parents may have been narcissists. And I said, interesting. At 30 years old, that's, Saturn returns. A lot of people start figuring this stuff out. And she said, yeah, I'm really having a lot of grief and guilt around detaching, meaning, starting to own my truth is bringing me fear, and I'm getting really scared because if I own myself, will I lose them? Will they still love me as their daughter? And I thought, gosh, that's so well articulated, because that's the feeling. The feeling is, if I have me, I can't be connected to you or loved by you. Really take that in. If I have me, if I own my power, you might disown me. It's a subconscious belief that many children of narcissistic parents experience. It's also the belief that when you're in a narcissistic codependent relationship comes up every single time. The more I'm in my power, the less you love me. The more I'm in my power, the less I feel approved of by you or connected to you. That's the wake-up call when you start saying, but I need me. And what is me without you? A lot of people come to me because they don't want to be people pleasers anymore. They don't want to have to live up to these externals, because what that does is it creates an internal environment of inconsistency, insecure attachment, inconsistency, insecurity, low self-esteem, anxiety. And the way we heal that inner experience is by realizing, what about me? And how could it be unsafe to be me? And how can it be that I will feel, unloved by you if I'm me? There's something wrong with that. There is something wrong with that. The way that we should have been raised in this society with emotional intelligence that doesn't exist in school, we should have been raised in a way that your emotions are valid. Mommy or daddy doesn't need you to be or act a certain way to feel enough. Mommy and daddy already feel enough. teacher already feels enough. What I need to do is cater to your emotions so that you can feel valid and understand how to self-soothe yourself. But we're not. We're emotionally invalidated most of the time as children, and then we don't know how to validate our own. And what we do is we take our negative emotion and we push it aside. I have another client I want to just share that kind of reminded me of myself when I was younger, where she was very highly sensitive, and she knew that she was in an environment that wasn't fair and wasn't right. And when she would express that, they would just look at her poker face like, why are you feeling that way? There's something wrong with you that you're feeling that way. There's nothing wrong with us. And she felt so enraged that no one was feeling what she was feeling or validating her feelings, that she would act out and have temper tantrums and have behavior that was less than perfect. And she would get punished and isolated and shamed for her behavior. And what she grew up thinking was, the way I behave is actually based on what I feel. So what I feel must be wrong. So I can't trust what I feel. And she put her feelings, her negative emotion aside. And every time she would stick up for what she'd feel as an adult, she would feel scared and guilt and wrong. And so what she learned to do is invalidate her own emotion like it was invalidated to her when she was a child. And that healing comes from a place of learning to validate your own emotions, learning that that was too much power for her. She was taught that your negative emotion is hurting all of us or invalidating all of us. That's too much power for a kid. And then she became afraid of her own power. She would hold her power and she would get scared. There's a big bad monster inside me. I don't know what to do with that. No, there's not. There's an emotion you didn't know how to express in a way other than that as a child. And now you have tools to express what you feel in more mature ways. So don't be afraid of your negative emotion. Validate your negative emotion and express it in a way that's not crazy. And know that it wasn't your emotion that was invalidated. It was your behavior that got you shamed. So these are many patterns that come from this. But part of this sort of lesson is understanding that if you had that experience as a child of emotional invalidation, you're still looking for that in your career, in your relationships. And really, when we start to come home and learn to validate ourselves, which I'll be teaching in my new course, Emotional Rehab, launching in a week, when we learn to validate ourselves from the inside out and detach and feel safe because we've built ourselves up to the point where we can reparent that emotion, that's when we can start to let go little by little of those attachments that aren't healthy and build new ones with new boundaries. So I hope you guys check out my new course, Emotional Rehab. I'm so excited. It's a 12-week course. It's online. It's badass. The first week of people that sign up get a complimentary free 30-minute session with me. So sign up immediately when it launches. And I'm really excited. I love you guys. Please share this video with anyone you think could benefit from it. And I'll see you soon.